me, I'm never gonna be in a relationship, I don't care who you are, what you have, what you've accomplished in life, where I'm not being respected.
As a human being, I make mistakes. As a human being, I am selfish. As a human being, I have desires, and you know what I'm saying? I wasn't always being the kind of husband that you're supposed to be. That's just is what that is. You know, I've cheated, I've done things that husbands ain't supposed to do. And that's what eventually led to us talking about divorce.
Y'all, Neyo is under fire like never before, and it's coming straight from his ex-wife, Crystal. She's making explosive claims that he's been abusive, controlling, and manipulative toward the current girlfriends. Yes, all 4 of them girlfriends that he's been juggling at once. And now a leaked DV video has surfaced, sending shockwaves across social media and leaving fans completely stunned. The fallout is insane. Every clip, every allegation, every detail Crystal drops is shattering Neyo's carefully crafted image. And fans are questioning everything they thought they knew about Neyo. And the scandal is only escalating, from emotional manipulation to alleged physical abuse. This story is messier than anyone could have ever imagined, and it's unfolding in real time. And when I tell y'all that fans have been dragging Neyo for filth, I'm not even joking. But hold up, wait a minute, because now his team is calling Crystal out for being a bitter baby mama and accusing her of trying to blackmail him. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Well, this is definitely getting messy, and the situation is sad. It's about to get even more toxic, so let me break it down for you. Ooh, ooh. Well, it looks like Neyo is about to be so sick of love songs, so tired of tears, because dating multiple women at once isn't the recipe for a great relationship. Because according to Crystal, Neyo's relationships are as horrible as you can imagine. And everybody knows that Neyo is currently in a very polyamorous public relationship with 1, 2, 3, 4 women named Christina, Ariel, Monet, and Brie. It's something of a sister wife situation going on, but hey, at least everybody is consenting adults and knew what they were getting into. But it should just be great after that, right? Well, not exactly, because Crystal just exposed the toxicity going on, and from the way she's telling it, it seems like the toxicity has been going on for a minute now, and for some reason all 4 women seem to be okay with hiding the truth and acting like everything is perfect. Well, y'all, Crystal was not about to let these women hide Neyo's shenanigans, so she came out to expose Mr. Neyo. Well, according to reports, not only has he allegedly been putting hands on them, but he has also been allegedly pitting them against each other. He supposedly plays some twisted mind games with them, forcing them to compete against each other for his attention. And as a result of this, all 4 women are constantly fighting one another and throwing petty shade. Y'all, this situation is a hot stinking mess, and definitely contrary to what we've been seeing online. So let's really break it down. Why did Crystal come forward to expose this drama? Well, some people think that she's just being petty and trying to break up this polyamory relationship, while others are saying that she's just trying to be a girl's girl and trying to save these from enduring a horrible fate with Neyo. Talk about Captain Save 'em. But what is really interesting is what she came forward with these claims of a couple of hours after one of the girlfriends, showed off the tattoo that she had gotten of Neyo's face and name. Not a botched tattoo, but she has pictures of him on her thigh, going into her private area, and her inner lip even, on her arm, and they even have matching tattoos. And this is why some people think that it's sus that Crystal suddenly came forward with these DV allegations. But the next thing we knew, she dropped pictures of Christina with some bruises on her face, and according to rumors, Neyo is allegedly the reason behind the bruises. However, some sources close to Neyo are saying that the bruises are from a certain adult bedroom activity that went a little too far, if you know what I mean. Yeah, we know that Neyo used to be in them Diddy circles, so but Crystal is standing 10 toes down on her allegations, supposedly pointing out Neyo's history of being selfish and cruel to women that he's dating. And boy, oh boy, does she have a point there, because Neyo's history with women doesn't exactly show him in the best light. Take Monyetta Shaw, his first baby mama. She stood beside him for nearly 14 years, built a family, and believed every word he said. The two had kids together, and she thought their relationship was solid. But behind closed doors, allegedly Neyo was playing a whole different game. He was so calculated with it that she never caught on to his cheating at first. He even convinced her to tie her tubes, saying he didn't want any more kids kids and that their family was complete, only for her to find out later that he was out there starting new families behind her back. How about you get your tubes tied, Neyo? But Monyetta trusted him completely, so when he told her to get her tubes tied, she went through with it, thinking it was a decision they made together. But not long after, the truth started spilling out. Neyo had been creeping around with other women, acting reckless behind her back, while pretending everything was fine at home. Still, Monyetta tried to hold the relationship together, hoping things would change, but then Neyo flipped the script and decided he did want more kids. And since Monyetta couldn't have any more, he tossed her aside like she meant nothing. Talk about when you're mad. Well, that was beyond foul. And this woman literally gave up her ability to have more kids out of love and loyalty, and he turned around and walked away as if it was nothing. And as if doing that to someone he considered to be the love of his life once, then it probably isn't crazy to imagine that he'd be doing his current girlfriends dirty. Plus, Crystal probably recognized the signs of him being cruel because allegedly she went through the same thing with him. A lot of people believe Crystal started out as the side piece who got upgraded to wife after Neyo dumped Monyetta, and she was warned from the start, because you lose them how you get them. Everybody around her said the same thing, that Neyo was a walking red flag and she needed to run before it was too late, but she didn't listen. Instead, she stayed married to him and went on to have 3 whole kids. They even renewed their vows in 2022, showing the world what it looked like to be a picture-perfect family. But just a few months later, Crystal filed for divorce and blew everything wide open. She accused Neyo of fathering a child outside their marriage and exposed years of betrayal. In her post, she wrote, 8 years of lies and deception, 8 years of unknowingly sharing my life and husband with numerous women who sell their bodies to him unprotected. Every last one of them. To say I'm heartbroken and disgusted is an understatement. To ask me to stay and accept it is absolutely insane. The mentality of a narcissist. I will no longer lie to the public or pretend that this is something it isn't. She was probably right to name him a narcissist, because the way he moved after divorce was nothing short of messy, and it was clear that he wanted to punish her for daring to leave him. But we figured out that Neyo wasn't taking Crystal's pain seriously when he liked her statement where she called him out and exposed him. He fired back on Twitter with a shady response, writing, "Ooh, ooh, ooh. For the sake of our children, my family and I will work through our challenges behind closed doors. Personal matters are not meant to be addressed and dissected in public forums. I simply ask that you please respect me and my family's privacy at this time. My sexy love." But behind the scenes, he was doing the complete opposite of what he preached. He tried to get the court to kick Crystal out of their home and even demanded that she pay his legal fees since she was the one who filed for divorce. Y'all, that level of pettiness is unreal. Neyo said, "Miss Independent, that's why I love her." But Crystal wasn't the only woman that he was allegedly cruel to, because he did the same thing to his side chick. Y'all remember when Crystal said Neyo had a baby on her during the marriage, right? Well, it turns out that it wasn't just one baby, it was 2 babies, and both of them were the same woman. That pretty much confirms that he'd been seeing her for years, since their first child was born in 2021 and the second February 2023. Well, that side chick also got the Neyo treatment, allegedly. This woman's name is Sade Bergaris, and things between her and Neyo eventually spilled out into court too. Neyo filed for joint custody of their kids, which might sound fair on the surface, but then came this twist. He also wanted her to pay him child support since the kids would be splitting their time equally between them. But it didn't end there, because just like Crystal, Sade also accused Neyo of allegedly putting hands on her during their relationship and even after. According to her, he would allegedly force himself onto her and also hit her. She wrote, "Tell them about the freak off, Diddy Jr. You know what you did. You body slammed me on the floor. Tell them the real you and why we're here today." While all this was happening, Neyo refused to take accountability. He clearly felt no remorse for his actions, because he went on a podcast and claimed that he was only human.
As a human being, I make mistakes. As a human being, I am selfish. As a human being, I have desires, and you know what I'm saying? I wasn't always being the kind of husband that you're supposed to be. That's just is what that is. You know, I've cheated. I've done things that husbands ain't supposed to do. And that's what eventually led to us talking about divorce.
He also went on Drink Champs to hint that he didn't want the divorce, but Crystal was not willing to work on their marriage after he fathered a child outside their marriage.
PA is shut down. All right, yeah, I'm gonna go to my house. I'm gonna go where I know my kids is at, where I know my mama at, where I know my wife who don't like me right now, but it's all right. Because if we gonna die, we gonna figure it out.
He also made it clear that he didn't want to pay Crystal alimony, even though he had forced her to give up her career so that she could be a stay-at-home mom for their kids. And when she tried to pick up the pieces and rebuild, he would leave her mean comments on social media. So between him manipulating Moneta to tie her tubes and dumping her after allegedly putting hands on Crystal and Sade while manipulating them, it's not hard to see why people kind of believe Crystal's claims about him doing the same to his current women. And with the photos that she leaked, baby, let's just say that things are not looking good for Mr. Neyo. At this point, it's hard to keep defending him because every new detail makes him look worse than he ever did before. From manipulating Moneta into tying her tubes to allegedly putting hands on Crystal and Sade, it's like a pattern just keeps repeating. And now that Crystal's coming with receipts, videos, and bruises, fans are starting to question if Mr. Gentleman image was all smoke and mirrors from the start. Yeah, fans are saying to the left, everything you own in that box to the left. And what's wild is how Neo's been acting through all of this. No accountability, no remorse, just denial, excuses, and victim blaming. But with this new leaked footage spreading like wildfire, the truth might finally be catching up to him, because at this point, it's not just about failed relationships anymore. It's about a man who's been given too many chances to change and instead keeps proving every single one of his exes right. And if these new allegations turn out to be true, then Neyo might be facing a downfall that no amount of PR can clean up to save him from. Ooh.